But I'll just give you a close-up of that little entrance that I made last night. I still have to do some more securing, make it even more impenetrable from anything that would be trying to get into them. But I just took some 1/4-inch hardware mesh that I basically put inside the walls of everything. You can see a little bit of it on the edge of that hole. Where is it? There, on the edge. You see it popping out. That's what I have this from. Oh, actually, no, it isn't, because that's 1/4-inch. This is, I don't know, 1/8 inch or something. Anyway, I'm happy. It's smaller holes, so it's even more secure and more sturdy. And then I have another one here in progress. So eventually they'll have the two ladders. Although I really like this ladder more now because I'm liking making everything look more like it's part of nature. Like a little wilderness environment for them and for the dogs. The dogs have their little caves. And that's how it's going to evolve over time. People coming will get to see chickens in an absolute paradise. So maybe I'll rename them Birds of Paradise, because that's where they are. I'm creating a place, or intending a place of harmony amongst all beings, big and small. And that environment is where people can step into in whatever capacity, whether it's for a soul print experience, whether it's to buy a painting or a print or a carving or whatever else I'm making at that time. A mailbox of the animal of your choice. Maybe your dog, your chicken, your whatever. I don't know yet. I just want to have fun. Secondarily, earning a living. But primary thing is to enjoy life and to invite others into that environment. It's my environment. It's not everyone's, but it will. The intention is for anyone coming who feels drawn to it to have a healing experience. To be able to engage in like the invitation that will be present within everything here, to just spontaneously move through it as you wish and engage with what you wish. Walk through the forest and the paths and step on the pebble mosaics and walk with bare feet and connect to the earth. Watch the chickens. Maybe even sit with them and do a chicken meditation, I find sitting in a little park bench or something and just watching the chickens for hours, meditating, it's unparalleled. Unparalleled. And what a connection you can make. I find from my experiences, you want to draw wisdom from, I'm just going to use certain terms, wisdom from your DNA. Let's just call it that. From your ancestors. From your great whatevers that you have missed the chance of learning herbal wisdom from, or whatever. My belief is that it's all in there somewhere, and there are techniques to retrieve that and to pass it on. And that's one aspect of what we're about here at Nomad. That nomad, the traveler, is for some the traveling without, but it's also the traveling within. It's acknowledging there are many levels, dimensions, and paradigms that we are not aware of, and that are all connected. And as we open ourselves to this inner wisdom, we will reconnect and connect with, hypothetically, other things that we haven't been connected to, like beyond the reconnection, going further than that. How can we open ourselves to being something a lot more? And I think that's the way through this stuckness that we're in, that many powers that be feel that the answer is to just wipe half of us or 3/4 of us or whatever percentage of us out in various devious ways. And many people get to the point of frustration where they say, oh, maybe that's the answer. Maybe humans are a disease. Well, maybe what has been forced upon us over centuries, on purpose or not, just because of feudal systems, whatever, who cares? Point being, we are at a point where we may need to make some very serious decisions on how we're going to make a change for the better. And I believe this is more of the change. I know Einstein believed it. He said you can't, not exact words, but paraphrasing, you can't solve a problem from the place where the problem exists. You have to go to this other paradigm to solve the problem. So we need to change my belief, we need to change us. And it's not going to be done by a Bill Gates or a Elon Musk or a Justin Trudeau. My God, it's a joke. Come on, folks. Seriously. We need, in my opinion, to about face to a completely different approach where once again something doesn't work and we're banging our heads against the same damn wall. That's the definition of insanity. Many of you have heard that. We need to think this, and actually we need not to think it. We need to feel this through and get through this, get out of the box, and then solve the problem in our new selves, in our new skins, in our new beingness, in our new state of harmony. I feel that, it's that one of these sayings like getting a camel through the eye of a needle, all these kind of impossible kind of things. Well, maybe it's not impossible. Maybe we're bunched up into what seems like a no return, and therefore left very easy to manipulate and control as slaves. But what if we all tune into the deeper part of ourselves in as many ways as we possibly can? This is one way that I'm offering. But maybe the answers are within and waiting for us to unlock them. And with reconnecting and embracing our brothers and sisters and helping each other evolve and get access to these deeper forms of wisdom or connections, to get answers that doesn't matter how smart anyone is. Half the time, the smarter you are, the more you're stuck into these programs. I'm experiencing, and it's a belief of mine, that majority of people who are academics, all they've done is just programmed more layers in exchange for certain answers, for sure. You could call it wisdom from a certain paradigm. But it's wisdom from a paradigm that is not working. And I don't say throw it away. Don't burn bridges. But, keep that going while you build another support. For example, I think of a parallel metaphor of trees. You want an area like in that opening I have here. I want some trees to go up to sort of heal that little scar opening and close it up again. But there's trees that grow fast and trees that grow slowly. The trees that grow slower I really want there, but they're going to take time. So I'm going to have my poplars and stuff that grow really quick, as well as the ones that grow slow, the evergreens and stuff, and some maples and things. The poplars will grow quick, and other fast-growing trees for now. And then when the other trees that are growing slower are big enough, I can cut down the poplars when they start to become at the end of their life cycle, and they're starting to, fall and break and lose limbs and stuff. And I think that's kind of how metaphor for us with our paradigm. Don't burn the bridge. This part within ourselves. I was just about to say there are people, but it's within everyone. There's an aspect within ourselves that wants to, it's either or. So we either stick with this thing and become slaves and listen to them, or do the complete opposite and just burn everything down and start anew. And I'm suggesting that we do something more along this line. Keep a rudimentary support on the old paradigm, just like scaffolding when you're fixing a big cathedral, and then gradually develop a totally new nurture, a totally new paradigm to grow up from within and take over. And I say grow and nurture because I'm using terms with intent that suggests the idea of something, for lack of a better term, more natural, less fabricated, less artificial, less Monsanto, less chicken cup of soup, less MSG, less pharmaceuticals, less corruption, less corruptibility. If there is a paradigm we start to develop that has a wisdom inherent within itself that we are connected to, think about that. We're going to solve a lot of our problems just right there. You little chipper. Look at this guy. Fat cheeks. I truly think that there's a lot we can do, and I truly think that this is not just my idea. I think, and that's why I'm doing this, I believe that people listening to this are going to realize and feel the wisdom and identify, because they're starting to unfold as well. I think this is happening on a giant scale. I think, aside from my idea, I think I'm just touching on something that's happening. It's like the blind people with their hands on an elephant, and each one's feeling a little different part of the elephant and thinking that's it. Well, this is the part of the elephant that I'm feeling, and you're hearing this, and then you realize that there's another part of the elephant you're feeling, and it connects with this, and then you wake to that, and then you share something with me, and I go, oh my God, and that wakes something up in me in turn. This is what I feel we need desperately to be doing right now, not fighting amongst each other and not getting pulled into this massive state of distraction constantly. Get away from the news, get away from the media, stop being controlled, get out of fear. These things paralyze us and make us slaves. Forget about the intention thing. Let's just pretend no one has that intention. It's just a byproduct that happens. That way everyone can kind of get past that agreement or disagreement thing. Let's start recognizing, let's get past the fear of discomfort, and let's lean into the discomfort and ask that deeper part of ourselves, however you want to do that. If you're Christian, ask God, ask Christ. If you're Muslim, ask Allah, ask God, ask, however it works for you. You can do this and not break the rules within your own comfort zone. The only one you have to break past is this belief that we need those powers to protect us. Let's grow out of that phase. This is the metamorphosis that we are being invited to take part in. This is the crucible. The discomfort is the crucible that we need to find our wisdom within ourselves to recognize and to, like I said, lean into and take a part in the sense of being a part of, not recoiling from. And that's why I've posted in the past songs about don't run from the storm, don't run from the coming storm, and all these metaphors, trying to put it out there for people to recognize there is a kind of storm, inner storm, that reflects on the outside as well, that we are going through. And that storm we are not meant, I believe, and many others do. It's in songs everywhere, myths everywhere, hidden for us to wake up to not run from that storm, to keep our heart open, to not close off, and to resist that, and to rely on our heart, our soul, that deeper part of ourselves, to believe in ourselves and each other in a time when it's seemingly the least conducive to do so. Excuse me. This is our invitation. This is our challenge. This is the wisdom that's in each one of us. And I strongly suggest, I strongly believe it is now. And whatever you believe about this whole COVID thing and lockdown thing, the end result is right now, from the contrast, I think unintentionally, it has set things up by contrast, by being locked down for so long, then being released a little bit. It's waking us up to recognizing something. We may not identify it, but there's something, I believe, niggling at each one of us. Just kind of scratching, tickling, just whispering. Little breeze. Little ripple in the water. However it manifests for you, when you hear this, you'll recognize that yes, this is happening. Even that little part within you that just says, okay, I don't want to be an asshole. I don't want to be controversial, whatever way you feel, but you know, the feeling that this is not right. Something's not wrong. We can't keep doing the same damn thing. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, embrace your truth that is waking up within you. It's not a complete truth that you can manifest right now. It doesn't matter. It's growing within you. It's an egg, you know, it's a seed germinating, and you just need to give it the environment that it requires, like these chickens, to thrive, to grow beyond what seems like our capacity. You know, if you have a plant growing in a little, like a bonsai tree, and you restrict its roots, but you still give it some nurturing, it's going to grow, and it may survive for thousands of years. But it is not growing at its capacity. Certain aspects of its potential are locked away. And if that tree had a thought, it might think, this is me, this is my max, this is my definition of myself. But we all know that in nature there'll be a tree from the same bunch of seeds, a sister of that tree that is 300 feet tall, and you can't get your arms around it. Same age. That is us, I believe, very strongly. So we just need to shift the conditions we're under. And that requires each person to tune into themselves and listen and believe. And that's where this word faith comes in, that everyone has a problem with, I believe. Faith to me is that connection that you nurture within yourself to reconnect to a deeper wisdom that we all are part of. And that's completely aside from a religious belief, although I believe that for the right people that are intent on being real, their religion can help them, and someone else's religion can help them. It's individual. It's not the religion, it's part of that, but it's how you use that tool to better yourselves. I see a lot of very spiritual people who identify as Christian. I see a lot of very spiritual people who identify as Muslim, who are not afraid to say to someone else who's of that belief that doesn't seem to be connecting in the same way, to say, no, I don't agree with that. You know, to speak their truth. And that's what we need now. People from every belief connecting. And I'm noticing it because I used to have a problem with Christianity and other things too. And as I've been following people that I relate to, and some of them I find out they're Christian, I had to get over that, because I said, well, I gotta just follow the wisdom I'm feeling, regardless of how they translate it. And over the 4-5 years now, I've really opened up a lot to many things that I was closed off to. Doesn't mean I have to be that or belong to that, but I open to it and I include that in my paradigm. And then that, therefore, has me connecting to people that I was otherwise prevented from connecting with. And I'm loving it. I'm loving this feeling. And I will not go back. And I'm therefore always willing to work at connecting and reconnecting with people that I even grew away from or grew apart from. But not to manufacture friendships. That's the wrong way, in my opinion, to all of this. That's the old world view. I believe we need to let things grow, germinate. We be the gardener. Let the seed do its own growing. That's where we got to get out of our own way, you know? So anyways, I think I'm going to end this video now because I do have a lot of things to do, get accomplished. So, I don't know, there's some seeds for thought. Please, I welcome comments, positive comments, thoughts. I'm not telling anyone anything. I'm not saying you have to believe anything. I'm asking questions and giving my thoughts, my feelings, and inviting. This is an invitation. And then aside from that, a little nomad ad. I am now taking people's emails at bodyart@urbanprimitive.com to be put on a list. Very shortly, I'll be contacting you for booking soul prints and soul print sessions. And get this ball rolling. Come and experience Nomad Village in its raw beginning crucible, first flames of Phoenix, rebirth, and join in, take some of that energy back with you, that healing, that real true healing power that is not mine, it's not anyone's, it's part of all of us. And it's what Nomad Village is all about. This is the crucible. This is that chrysalis for all of our rebirth. And this is on a real level. And as we move into this and we let go of our fears, the more we will start to recognize the trail, and it will become clearer. The lights, the light at the end of the tunnel, the lights, the breadcrumb trail, whatever metaphors you want to use, will become more noticeable and easier for that trail for it to be followed. And I think as we follow our own trail, we'll start to see others and recognize others as true friends on this kind of level, and work together. But not in an artificial sense, not in a, oh, well, it's my idea, or it's my idea, or your idea. Something different. That's the old world paradigm, what we need to move away from. And in this paradigm, it doesn't matter about the color of your skin, your belief system, your diet choice, whatever. It's letting go to trust something bigger in all of us and let go of our differences for real healing, not surface stuff, surface distraction. And then more and more as we do this, more will reveal itself. Those breadcrumbs on the trail will start to become really noticeable. And we'll start to share more, and everything will come together, I think, exponentially. So quicker and quicker, deeper and deeper, wider and wider. So till the next video, thank you so much for listening. I invite you all to Nomad Village in whatever capacity you are able. to participate, and including soon, I'm going to start having little work camps where people come as volunteers. We feed you, we hang out, well, when we're allowed to, we sit around a little campfire and tell stories at night, and laughter, and cheer, play guitar or fiddle, whatever, and connect in ways that we never have been able to before. Not just in ways we've been held back from during lockdown, but on a whole new level. And we take this contrast as a tool, as a gift to launch forward. I'm noticing it just talking to someone on a phone, for, I don't know, Bell information or something, and it's a real person instead of a recording. It's like oh my God, I'm talking to a real person. Oh. And we always end up having a little bit of conversation about something other than the business side of things. And that's the humanity, I believe, waking up. We're recognizing it. It feels good. Let's go with it. Let's just friggin' do it. No more of this hesitation. Feel rather than think. Think second. Let your heart guide you. Let your mind, your brain be the secretary, be the assistant. Let's get back to what's real. And your heart will tell you. If you're Christian, it's that Christ energy that is deep within all of us and in many very latent. That is the seed, that is the creativity, that is the human God interface, if you want to call it that. The small self, capital self, one within the other. It's that relationship, man to that which is beyond what we can possibly comprehend, but that we need to believe in whatever way you define it. But to avoid petrified, dogmatic interpretations of these systems, which is always the trap, and I think that's what the false idol metaphor is for. It's not to point at other belief systems and go, well, yours is this and ours is that. I think it's with the potential for both is within any belief system. And that means constant cultivation, watering, pulling weeds. None of us are beyond that. If we sleep too long, the fire goes out. So let's connect to that wisdom within us. Let's find deep wisdom that is waiting for us to unlock it. I've had so much of that handed to me from clients and their experiences over 40 years. People who have come to me fighting an illness, and I've worked with them with the soul print healing, and then they've passed beyond this lifetime. That is not a failure. That is where they went. That was their destiny. They're doing something beyond this physical body. I truly believe that. Like my friend Jay, who passed away a year ago, approximately, and I believe he chose to move beyond here, to help from a different level, which may sound totally wacko to some people, but just allow yourself the chance that maybe the voice in you that thinks this is ridiculous is the program that you need to burn out, and use that burnt belief system that is holding you back as a fertilizer for the new. Everything, if used as a metaphor, goes back to nature. So why are we so embracing this artificial world we're being guided into, pushed into, prodded into? These, whatever you want to call them, fast-tracked answers, so-called answers, manufactured concepts from some limited level of being, limited level of consciousness. I don't care what PhDs they have. Think about it. These PhDs are coming from what? A limited understanding, a limited perspective. It doesn't matter how far they reach. They're inside an echo chamber. They're locked into a limitation. And those that reach a certain level themselves come to realize that and become rogue and radical to the rest of us, our perceptions. That is why they step out and they are willing to lose their licenses, I believe. Because they see a bigger picture. And of course they know that if they speak their truth, this is another metaphor, this blind God, we'll call it, who has decided it is the God. Monsanto, Bill Gates, Soros, and others believe they are gods, believe their answer is the one. Transhumanism, that movement believes they have more power, more wisdom than that which we are a part of, that wisdom that we have become blind to within ourselves. That is their advantage if we hold on to that belief and support the captor. And I'm not talking captor as the individual. They are just playing that part. The captor is the essence of this restriction that wants to hold us in its grasp of limitation, of finite being that we've been trained to believe we are a part of, to believe we are divorced from nature, that we are a disease. We were not put here as a disease. But I do believe this locked in belief of our limitations is a disease at the truest root of all concepts of what it means, which then manifests as disease. I think that a lot of our illnesses will start to clear themselves up. Cancers and other things, mental illnesses, neuroses, this lashing out kind of dynamic, I think is all a manifestation, a result of a voice within us that's yelling and screaming for release. It knows we're in a cage. For some reason, a lot of us don't think it is. We are in a cage of our own making, and we need to find the courage and the wisdom within ourselves. It is there. However you do it, to unlock that and to move together, to work together, to grow together, and defy this paradigm that is locking us in. And I think that it has to be done with compassion. Compassion for ourselves, compassion for our mistakes we've made. We've all made mistakes. We've all tripped and fallen. Forget about all that programming. I've had to work with that constantly, feeling like I'm a failure, I've failed, I've this and that. It's a distraction, it's a waste of energy. Let's get back on that horse and ride and join all others and work together and recognize and hug each other, shake hands, do all the things we've been prevented from doing. Think about it. Think of all these things. Accidentally, let's just say, have all manifested the things that just serve to lock us deeper in this prison, while others control the situation as they feel and see fit, and dictate and interpret for us what's right for us and what's not. That is artificial, and those that don't recognize it, it's only because we have been brought up in an artificial paradigm. And their answers are taking us deeper into artificial. And I'm not saying those ideas and inventions and things are wrong. Don't get me wrong. I'm saying do your inner growth, and a voice within you will let you know what you should follow and what you shouldn't. Don't do it backwards. Do not do it backwards. Develop this inner wisdom and it will guide you through. You will see a light. It's not some saying that's just thrown out there. It's the truth of it. You will see each one of you in a different way. That will start to grow and unfold for you, and you'll start to get answers, and you'll start to feel things, and you'll come together with others of like minds, and they will trigger new awakenings within you. This is real. This is deep, real on every level. And don't trust anything until you feel it. But just do a little bit of fake it till you make it, possibly. Do some, experiment with some of this, just like I do with coffee. I don't know if I like this bean, but I'm going to keep roasting it and trying it each day and just resonate with it. And eventually I'll settle with how much I like it and how much I don't, and if it's right for me and so on. But without judging, resonating instead. We've been relying on a tool in our mind that is not made for this. It is not adequate. It hasn't got the capacity to help us through this. It is not even a crutch. So therefore, those that believe they have this ability but don't, but have tons of money and tons of power, are steering us. Let's just say they're misguided, not intending, and let's just say they have the best interest of all of us for their benefit. Let's just say that. Doesn't mean they're right. So we're going to tap into, we already are. I'm just inviting those that are just a little bit late on the response to just resonate. You don't have to choose on an intellectual level. Allow yourself to resonate. And if it kicks in within you, well, then trust that. And if it doesn't, well. And what I'm pointing out is that all this transhumanist stuff, everything from cell phones to Uber Eats to video games, that some people will say, well, I don't want to let go of that. And you don't have to. Connect to this. And then this wisdom within you will start to sort all that out. And perhaps my view is that then when you've got your roots, got your connection, gone through your metamorphosis, gone through the crucible and the phoenix stage of your rebirth, and open yourself up like a nice bottle of wine, let it breathe. That's all I'm asking. It's real. You don't have to worry about being duped. Your heart will not dupe you. You just got to let it grow a little bit. And then what I'm saying is then reconnect to these things you love, but you'll be reconnecting to them and motivated from something deeper within. And then maybe you'll be contributing to a way to direct these things into a more holistic and wholesome way of our growth that doesn't go against us. That's all I'm saying. This is real, true healing. And this is the way always soul print sessions and philosophy have evolved for me. I've trusted. I don't make it up. And that's why it's grown and evolved over 40 years and not overnight, like a certain quote-unquote